You sit down to focus, and somehow your attention disappears. One notification, one new thought, one quick check, and suddenly you're somewhere else. But what if the problem isn't your discipline? What if your environment is training your brain to lose focus?
A person sits down to work. They read one sentence. Their phone lights up. They check it. They return to the laptop, but a new thought appears. They open another tab. Minutes pass, then more. They eventually realize the work they set out to do remains untouched. When did focusing on one thing become so difficult? Attention is a finite biological mechanism. Our brains have strict limits on their processing power, and as this chart shows, that capacity is easily overwhelmed by a constant influx of digital data. The friction we feel while trying to work is a symptom of this biological limit. We are asking our brains to process a volume of information that exceeds their current design. Even in a quiet workspace, our brains are active. Humans evolved to prioritize novel, moving stimuli over a static environment, a trait that once ensured survival. Today, that survival mechanism is triggered by a digital ping, creating a reward loop that provides an immediate dopamine-driven hit. These two paths compete for your energy. Notifications offer instant gratification, while deep work requires a slow, uphill climb with later rewards. Modern applications are designed to exploit this specific biological preference. Engineers use these reward loops to keep users engaged for as long as possible. Our focus is easily hijacked because our primitive biological systems are being targeted by technology far more sophisticated than our natural defenses. This leads to a fragmented work style. We click through multiple tabs, check emails, and jump between applications in a matter of seconds. True multitasking is a myth. The brain is actually performing rapid context switching, forcing its focus to stop and restart every time we move between tasks. This line graph shows the cost of that movement. Every context switch causes focus to plummet. These rapid dips prevent the brain from ever reaching the threshold required for deep, meaningful work. When this happens, we often tell ourselves to just work harder. But willpower is a fragile tool when it's being used to fight against the way our brains are built. Trying to force focus while remaining in a distracting digital environment is an exercise that quickly depletes our remaining cognitive energy. To regain focus, we have to look at the architecture of our surroundings. Environmental design is our most effective defense. A typical workspace is often a collection of distractions, multiple open tabs, highly cluttered desks, and phones placed within reach, all pulling at our limited attention. In contrast, a controlled environment uses a single open window and the physical removal of the phone. This setup protects the brain from the cues that trigger the reward loop. By managing the physical space, we preserve our cognitive capacity for the task that actually matters. You can practice this with a 20-minute experiment. Pick one task. Silence all notifications. Put your phone in another room and commit to one goal. Expect your mind to wander. Total, unbroken concentration is a skill that takes time to develop. Success in this exercise is simply the act of noticing when you've drifted and gently bringing your focus back to the page. Each time you return your attention to the task, you are performing a mental repetition that strengthens your brain's capacity for sustained focus. Returning to the opening scene, the person now makes a different choice. They put the phone away and begin to work. Your attention is pulled in 100 directions every day. What you choose to focus on repeatedly eventually becomes what your mind is trained to notice. The ability to focus is a reflection of what you have taught your brain to prioritize through your daily habits. So remember, train your mind, shape your future.